Evening, ladies and gentlemen, this is Ajax, aka Ray, back to our stream of Exia from Gundam 00. From yesterday and the day before that, we completed the legs, the torso, the arms, and the head. We have everything all put together right here. Back to our stream of Exia. Like I said, we have everything put together right here, and today we're going to be working on weapons. From there, we're going to be thinking about decals, whether or not we're actually going to do them. And then we're going to be doing some panel lining. But today will be weapons all day, all night. Or at least all night. So again, thank you for joining me. Let's get this started. First things first, we're going to need a D-137. You know what? Let's put them in the middle. There you go. D-137. Well, actually, we need an F-29. As per usual, we cut far then cut close. F-29, A-22, and a D-137. This is for the GN sword. The GN sword is Exia's main weapon. It's a cool weapon because it is not only a sword, but actually the blade and folds in and becomes a cannon or a handgun, whatever you want to call it. D-137. Perfect. D-137, let's go. Actually, let's move you over here so we can be a little bit closer. So we can work a little bit closer here. Start off with F-29. This is going to be the back plate of the GN sword. I actually need a new file. This file that I'm using is what came with the Tamiya set. Basic modeling set or basic Gundam set. It's useful, but I think I might have graduated away from it. There are parts that require me to get in real close, and smaller parts that require filing. And I can't do it with this because it's pretty wide and there's no real sanding edge on, well, sanding surface on the edges. So I need something smaller. I've been looking online, and I've seen a couple of them that I like. Also from Tamiya. Smaller files. Possibly getting that this weekend. We'll see. Considering that most likely this coming weekend, I'm gonna be buying another Gundam to build on stream. Now we get to cut close on this one. Get to file this down. And filing does two things, one of which is it makes the surface of what you're doing even, and also relieves stress marks. Stress marks are when you cut or take off a piece from the runner or the sprue, it creates a stress mark where the plastic kind of bends a bit. The problem with that stress mark is it's miscolored. It actually, especially on blue pieces like this, it actually turns out white. And we want an even, uniform color throughout the whole piece. Sometimes you might actually have to shave it, just like what I did just now. Then you can go at it with a file just to relieve that stress mark. There you go with the file. That looks pretty good. So I could have sworn there's a third part. Yes, there is. I should have shown you all what it looks like actually. I don't know if I can even do that. So if you see that little nib right there, that little mark, that's where it was connected to the sprue or the runner. And we want to get rid of that. The problem with it is sometimes that if it's not raised, you might file a little too close, and you don't want that. You just want to file enough that it doesn't show up anymore. There you go. The front piece or the front armor for the GN sword. See if you can need me shaving. Nope, no shaving. Just sanding. Oh, filing, I should say. The cool thing about white pieces or off-white pieces is the fact that the stress mark doesn't show up. The only thing that you really have to do is file it down. Make sure that there's no sprue marks, no nibs, no nubs. And then from there, you should be good. Alright, let's connect them together. So this is the lower portion and the upper portion of the GN sword, and then the armor cover for it. Want everything to go in place here, but it's not cooperating with me, it looks like. It doesn't want to cooperate with me. Want it to snap in place, so maybe we have to take this off and then snap it in place here. Snap this in place first. Or maybe it's backwards. Maybe I'm just trying to snap it into the wrong side, wrong place. Alright, now we got the shield area of the GN sword. See? So we have that piece of the GN sword. Now we need an F1 and an F18. F1, F18. There's the F1. And the F18, where are you at, buddy? Alright, F18. F18 it is. F1, F18. Now we don't know whether or not this is going to be a show part or a show piece, so Let's file it down anyway, just to make sure. Now, one of the reasons why I'm doing this, or it seems like a bit of an excessive amount of filing, is because I am making a show quality Gundam. So we don't want any stress marks, we don't want any raised areas, we don't want any sprue marks or any runner marks, we don't want any nubs or nibs. We want everything to be absolutely even and as close to perfect as we can possibly get it. That way when I'm done with this, it's something that, well, I wouldn't say that it's going to be good enough that I can take it to shows, because I've seen some of the professional models. Those are amazing. But it's something that we can, you know, at least I can be really, really proud of and put in a display case. And, you know, putting models in a display case is fine. Being able to take it out and then show it off, that's another story. So we want it to be as close to perfect as possible. Even these little tiny bit parts. Alright, so we're taking the F1. We're adding that. Seems like it's an even part. Yep. Taking the F1 and snapping that onto that. And we're taking the F18 and we're snapping it onto this. Hey Starcab. Yeah, later than usual today. It's the weekday, so work kind of gets in the way. How are you, bud? Alright, there you go. That's what we have so far of GN blade, or the GN sword. Now we're gonna go for the actual blade itself. So we need an F37. And you guys are gonna see a cool little gimmick with this. Considering this is a sword. And we need a C22. C222. Now we haven't opened this one yet, but we're gonna open it now. This is something I kind of wanted to save to open before we opened it, because these are all chromed pieces and I wanted to make sure that they did not have any marks whatsoever on them from other runners. So we're doing a C222 and we're also doing an F38. We'll keep this separate. F38. You guys are gonna get to see a cool little thing. I actually found this really amusing considering that this is a real grade. So that's 38. Okay, so let's start off with the F37. Kind of bummed I just had to. You did? Oh, really? What were they doing in their stream that you had to report them? It's not a girl that was showing her boobies, was it? I heard that's happened before, actually. Alright. We are not going to get that white mark off of that. Unless we file it down really close, and we don't want to be that close. We don't want to risk that. Alright, there's a little bit of a nib there. We don't want that piece. Okay, cool. in view right now. He has top views, so why not check it out? Then what happened? Oh man. What have I done? I've made a horrible mistake. And now I have to clean it up. He was playing a game. Filed a little too close, but I think I saved it. Alright. Oh. So he was in the creative channel and he was streaming a game. Instead of streaming something creative. And yeah, that's, you know, it's not a bad comment. I mean, if you're not streaming what you're supposed to be streaming, this is one of those pieces where you cannot really file it down. You just kind of have to hope that everything came into place. Okay, that's good. And then after this, we'll have a conversation about how I feel about that. Alright, let's see. We need to get that nub mark off. Alright. It's not really going to show up too much. They did? What were they saying? Some people kind of go off on other people and say, burn the witch, burn the witch. Is that the type of thing they were saying? Alright, let's see if this snaps on properly. The way we want it to snap on. And we've got a GN blade. Now, I could probably clean this up a little bit more for you, but we'll do that later on. Then replied with, I'm not a fan of sarcasm. Alright, let's see if you can see that. So if you notice there's that dark piece that we put right there, and the rest of it is chromed out like a blade. So there's like that contrast, right? That contrast of armor to metal, which is pretty amazing. Then says use. Really? Well, I mean, what are they doing if... See, this is the thing, man. The way I see it, right? The way I see it. The video game channels, the game channels have, you know, a lot of streamers. There's a lot of competition in there, right? And there's, you know, a lot of places to go. a lot of places to go, a lot of things to do, and a lot of things to watch. And then the streamers, you know, of course, they have to compete with each other, right? Now, that's all fine and good, and I understand how hard it is to be in those places where there's so much competition. F4. But at the same time, here or in the smaller or newer channels, we're just trying to build this up, man. We're just trying to, you know, we're just trying to get up there. The video game channels are already up there. Where, you know, with us, we have to struggle and you know, fight for every follow and every view that we have. Unlike them, where, you know, maybe it isn't, maybe it's hard too, but they're in established channels. They're in established, like an established subject or a subject area where we are not. So we have to fight. The way I see it, we have to fight a little bit more than they do. This is an F-17. So I mean, this is just my opinion about it, but that fact that we have to, you know, fight a little bit harder and a little bit more in order for us to be noticed, in order for us to have a space, in order for us to be able to succeed. We don't want to have to compete with somebody that has, like, you know, that already has thousands of viewers or thousands of followers from the gaming channels. So, you know, it's kind of like a catch-22, but at the same time, I actually, you know, came from a streaming background of games. I have another channel besides this one, my older channel, my older stream that, you know, I streamed games on. And, you know, even when I started on this one, I streamed games. But now that I'm in creative and I'm doing, you know, this, and I see and, you know, I don't want to make it seem like, you know, oh, there's a plight, or there's like a you know, the struggle is real for creative streamers. But, you know, in a lot of ways it is. Creative has, you know, has some big names. We have a couple of people in here that'll have like 1,000+ watchers at any given time, but they're doing something really, really creative. You know what I mean? They're actually doing something creative. Now, for somebody that you know, is streaming a game in a creative channel, or any other channel for that matter, that doesn't have anything to do with them, well, that's, you know, I don't want to sound like I'm crying about it, but that's cheating in a way. But then again, I mean, think about it this way, right? If you're gonna be a lurker or a watcher on creative or any of the other off channels, you know, you're most likely not gonna go and view those channels, right? It's just sad that because that person has so many followers already and they follow him wherever, and then they'll follow him here, it's you know, there's enough competition in here as is. There's a lot of people that I watch that I think definitely deserves more watchers, and, you know, I of course would like to have more watchers, and I'd rather not have to compete with somebody that, you know, isn't even streaming something creative. They're streaming something that there's a definite sub channel for whatever game they're playing. So I mean, that's just my opinion. My opinion is, you know, we'll stay in here. You know, you stay out there. You know, I don't play League of Legends and jump into my and say that it's Minecraft, or vice versa. So alright, so we got these parts ready to go. So that's F4, and that goes with the blade. And alright, so that goes with. Alright, so this goes to. Oh, we're missing something. Something I completely missed. A23. So what do you think, StarCap? Do you think that, you know, I'm thinking, you know, because you have to report them, that you feel the same, that, you know, everybody stay within their own channels. You know, not that there's got to be some segregation really, but there is a reason why you have a channel for yours and we have a channel for ours. And again, coming from a a game streaming background. Yeah, exactly, Gameragi. And welcome back. Welcome, by the way, to the channel. Welcome, by the way, to the channel. If you have any questions or if you want to ask me anything at all about what I'm doing or about life, well, maybe not life. I'm a horrible, horrible person to take advice from, but at the very least, anything about my channel, go ahead and feel free to chat. StarCab is one of my regulars, so if I can't answer you fast enough, I'm sure he will. But yeah, like you were saying, it's already hard enough as is for us in creative to have to build a community around what we do without having to compete with people that have followers, that have a space already, a popular space at that. To have to compete with them is just, unfair in a lot of ways. Alright, so that's a piece that's gonna go here if it lets me. If it cooperates. Do I build Gundam models often? When I was younger, I used to build quite a few of them. But as I got older, I got out of it because, well, time, family, work, things like that get in the way, unfortunately. But I recently, I've been a streamer on Twitch for a little while now, and I decided to start a new channel. I figured, start fresh, start new. And then I found creative, and I've been meaning to get into a new hobby. And sure enough, I figured, why not start with Gundams? So I started streaming, building this Gundam, which is the Gundam Exia from Gundam 00, and I am hooked. I want to be in the creative channel, and I want to build Gundams all day long. So yes, right now, starting as of this past weekend, and as of this build, I am going to be building. I will be building quite often. Yeah, StarCab, you're absolutely right about that. They have a little bit of time to switch from one thing to another, but you don't want. I mean, I'm sure that there's other like channels and streamers that actually do that like to talk shit to their followers or their watchers, and that's a very popular thing, and it works for them. But there's only so much followers and watchers can take, right? Before they start to just be like, fuck you. Kiss my ass. We want an F-34. Yeah, Gameragi? What kind have you built? And do you remember what grades, by any chance? F-34 we're looking for. F-34, why can I not find you? Aha! Aha! Taste the soup! Wonder if anybody got that reference. Yeah, that was. Like I said, there's streamers out there that, there's streamers out there that have a gimmick, and sometimes that gimmick is to abuse their followers and their watchers, and that works fine because if anything, they allow their watchers and their followers to talk shit back. So not a bad thing necessarily, but at the same time. Alright, so we want this to go here. At the same time, we can't all be dicks, right? There's only a certain amount of dickage that you can take. The easy snap ones. Oh, cool, you had them all. You know what you should do is you should take pictures of them. I love looking at other people's work. I don't care if it's like old or new or like professional grade or not. I love looking at other people's art. I almost said art, which is kind of the case, yeah. I love looking at other people's stuff. That's Scythe. Yeah, yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about. Death Side from Wing. All right, so we got the shield area where that switches out. There's a handle for the gun, as you can see there. I don't really even know how to transform this bad boy yet, but we'll get to it. We'll get to it. So we have the shield and the blade covers. Yeah, Deathside is a good model to start with. I mean, not model to start with, just a great model to look at it at that. So D19. As for me, you know what? I'm actually exactly in the same boat that you are. I used to build high grades, which is, you know, like you said, the snap fit ones. And, you know, they're all pretty much snap fit. D19. They're all pretty much snap fit, right? Unless you get into, like, you know, the perfect grades where it requires screwing and gluing and whatever. But at the same time, yeah, I know which one you're talking about, which is the high grades. Recently, I believe it was like in 2010 is when they released the real grade, which is what I'm working with right now. So there used to be just two lower grades, which is the high grade and the master grade. High grade is 1/144 scale, and master grade was the 1/100 scale. Now, because the master grades were bigger, they allowed for more detail. They had inner frames that actually were a lot more articulated than the high grades. And then in 2010, they released the real grades. Real grades have the size of the high grades, which is 1/144th scale, and it has the inner frame and the custom, the design of the master grade. So there's the articulation and all that, and the detail that a master grade would have, but in the size of a high grade. A couple 1/100s? Oh, dude, that's awesome. That's awesome. I myself don't recall if I ever built a master grade. All of my Gundams are no longer with me. That's why it's a, you know, I think it's a good thing that I'm starting now. So we're going A29. Which part? Or the whole thing? Yeah, considering that you're new to my channel, yeah, so if you take a look at it, it's super articulated. I'll show you a good example of how articulated it is. As the foot, the ankle doesn't really move, but it's a ball joint on the foot. Not only that, the foot itself moves up and down, and then the toes move up and down. So it accounts for super... Thank you very much, Gameraji, for following. I really do appreciate it. I'm glad that I'm entertaining you, and hopefully I can entertain you more. So yeah, the toe area is really articulated. There's like little bendy parts, like the armor cover for the foot, the back heel cover, and then this has like 3 moving parts. It has the knee, the upper knee, and the back knee. It's super articulated, and I absolutely love the real grades. I figured, you know, real grade is a good way to start again, considering that, you know, it's still the same size of what I'm used to, but at the same time, you know, it's got the detail and the customization, the detail level of the master grades. Screw words, not good with words. So we're looking for an 829. 829. Hello, friend. And we're looking for a C20. Oh, there's one part that we missed. Okay, so we're looking for an F15 and an F14. I just keep skipping steps left and right. Dude, you should definitely build another model again soon. I mean, you know, if you have the time, even a little bit of time every day, maybe 30 minutes to an hour every day, it'll be great. It's one of the reasons why I picked this up, actually, is because I wanted something to relax me a little bit more, because I work a lot and I have a family, and, you know, very few times do I actually have time for myself. We're looking for an F14, F15. This is an F14. So, you know, I needed something where I could do something at night. I needed to be productive, so you know, instead of just watching like Netflix all night long, which you know is something that I did. F14, F15, and at the same time, you know, ever since finding creative on Twitch, I figured, you know what, that is a perfect storm. Perfect storm. F14 and F15, yes. Very good planes. I believe the Max from Macross was based off the F14 Tomcat. With the variable wing and all that. Was that the 15? I'm pretty sure it's the F14, right? Something I kind of forgot about. You can make our papercraft Gundams. I have more than one of those actually. Before this hobby, like a few years back, I started doing papercraft. I still do them now, but you know, it's. I'm not gonna lie, it's harder to do than this. I have a lot of patience. I have a lot of patience for what I'm doing right now, but as for papercraft, it's very easy for me to lose my patience because with Gundams, right? With Gundams, you have the pieces. You cut the pieces off the runners. After you cut the pieces off the runners, you put them together, as opposed to papercraft, where you find a model, you print it out, you cut it out, then you fold them, and then you glue them together. It is very involved. Now, I would do papercraft here, but if you think me building this real grade is slow, dear God, papercraft. Papercraft is really slow. And we would be here until morning. To build something this level of detail with this many parts for papercraft would take not hours, but days. And the last time I spent whole days doing something was when I used to play World of Warcraft. No, not gonna do that. Macross Frontier uses SU-27 flanker. Yes! That's why the shape is like that. I didn't even think about that. I did not even think about that. So F15 would be here and F14 would be here. I can't even imagine this. I know, right? I know. In papercraft? Dear God. The most complicated papercraft I ever built was a tumbler, a Batmobile tumbler. Oh man, I need to file that. A Batmobile tumbler that had, I believe, close to 500 parts. I don't recall if that's the right one I'm thinking about. That it had 500 parts. Either that or over 200, I know that. And that one took me a long time. I finished it though. Wanted to kill myself after, but finished it. It was very rewarding at the end because I spent so much time on it. I've also built a DeLorean, a Back to the Future DeLorean, and I cut that way close. Too close. Too close, like embarrassingly close. I've built a couple of VF1Ss from Macross, but non-transformable. I built cute things here and there for like the wife and like, you know, friends or whatever. Like I built a Hello Kitty for the wife and things like that. But you know, other than that, okay. So this is from the side. All right, and we're looking at a C220. When you get to be my age with kids, yeah, you have to have a lot of patience. Oh, that's right. C220 would be in here. Woo! Super careful. Chrome pieces. I can't even file these down. I just have to be really careful about how close I am. And pray that I don't cut too close or too far. That way I won't have to shave or file anything down. What games have I worked on? Oh, somebody checked my profile, huh? I have been working on video games or in the video game industry since I was 18 years old, almost 20 years ago. I started testing video games on the original Sega Genesis. Sega Genesis, Sega Saturn, Sega 32X. So it's been that long, and I've probably worked on a game that you've played before. Let me take a look at that real quick, StarCab. Oh, that's what you're talking about. You know what? Like, remember yesterday I was telling you about that, the binder clips. I'm thinking about doing that also. But yeah, you see that too, Gameragi? But yes, unless you're amazed by my video game career, which, you know, honestly you shouldn't be. It's long hard road. But yeah, I worked for Sega, and then I worked for THQ. I don't know if you recall what THQ is. They folded a little while back. So this is the top part. So yeah, I worked for Sega. Then I worked for THQ. Then I worked for Sony. And I don't know if I should list all the games. So alright, so when I was at Sega, I worked on all the first generation Saturn games. I was the project lead for Power Rangers the movie. I worked on a bunch of Sega 32X games. And then at Sony, at THQ, I worked on all the wrestling games. I was the project lead for Rocket Power Beach Bandits. I was the project lead for the Britney Spears dance game. I did some standards work and all that. And guys, look, this is one of the blades. It has a gray armor piece, a blue armor piece, the handle, and of course the actual blade itself. So we've got two blades ready to go. When I was at THQ, I did all the wrestling games, and after that I worked at Sony. I'm gonna take a drink while we do this. I know, right, Gameragi? You should see it from up close. It's super shiny. But besides that, yeah. So when I was at Sony, I worked on all their online games, first generation, second generation. So I worked on SOCOM 2, Final Fantasy 11. I was actually one of the first Americans to touch a PS2 hard drive. I worked on Automodelista, and EverQuest for PS2, if you remember that. And then from there, I worked at EA. Electronic Arts, where I was part of their MMORPG team. So I worked on Sims Online, Earth and Beyond, Ultima Online. I actually designed the dungeon for Samurai Empire for Ultima Online. Let's see, where are we at now? So we're doing the same thing, but on the other side. What else? And then, yeah, I was at EA, and then I did all of that. And then I worked on online matchmaking for EA for every online game that they had, which is included Madden, NBA Live, and, you know, all those fun games. I also worked on Battlefield 1942 and Battlefield 2142. And then after EA, I went to Disney Interactive Studios, where I worked on mostly DS games. If you remember, like some of the earlier DS games, was it DS? What came before DS? I'm pretty sure it was no Game Boy Advanced. So GBA. I worked on GBA games. I worked on PS2 games. I worked on Xbox 360 games. Xbox One games, and then after that, where else did I go after that? After that, I did a little bit of a run at Insomniac, where I worked on oh my, Resistance 3. What am I looking for here? D229. Oh yeah, and then after that, I worked at a couple of other non-gaming companies, where I started working on mobile games, mobile apps, and then I came back to Disney, where I worked on their mobile games for almost 2 years. and then a company called Nexon M, and originally, it's one of the sister companies of Nexon that makes MapleStory, hired me to build a QA team for them a little while back, and I've been with them ever since, and we make mobile games. Yeah, I've been in the industry. It'll be, let's see, yeah, it'll be 20 years this year. It'll be 20 years this year, or this coming year. 20 years. I'm an old man. So we have the D29. We need the F14, F15 again. Thank you very much. I appreciate you appreciating that. It doesn't seem that long, but it is. Time moves pretty quickly. I remember when I first started in the industry, and then I look at it now, and a lot of advancements. A lot of things have happened over the years. Game programmer? Oh man, then you know what? Go. If you have a dream, I am one of those people that absolutely truly believe that if you have a dream or if you have a goal, it's just a matter of actually doing it. So if you want to be a game programmer, the question would be, what's stopping you? Right? You want to be a game programmer? Do it. It's just a matter of time, right? School sometimes plays a factor in it, but learning how to program is very, very big. Video game industry is one of the few industries where they still will take you as a programmer, even though you have no schooling behind you. Of course, having school behind you is, experience is stopping you. Longer than your military. StarCab, you were in the military? Which branch? And for how long? And experience is stopping you. You mean experience as in you haven't learned how to program yet, or you just don't have experience, being in the industry and you have like so much competition? Alright, we're building the other shiny blade. Really? For 13 years, Royal Thai Army? That's crazy. So you're Thai, huh? Are you Thai? I don't want to make any assumptions. Just because you're in the military there doesn't necessarily mean that you have to be Thai. I'm sure that, other people can get into the military in other places. Working Java developer right now, but hopefully a few years in the field will put me in a better position Saturday. Dude, if you've got a job already programming, being able to get into the video game industry is not that hard. If you've already got a job, it's a matter, well, that goes without saying in any field, right? If you've already got a job, getting a job is much easier than if, you have to start without having a job. 829. I say try it. Look for a couple of programming jobs. You know what I would suggest? Actually going through and looking at game developers as opposed to game production studios. Like, you don't want to go, if you don't have that much experience, you don't want to go for like an EA or a Sony or even a THQ, even though they don't exist anymore. You don't want to go for a publisher, right? You always want to go for the developers first. The developers will give you a chance, at which point they will give you, you know, they'll be patient with you. They'll teach you anything that you need to learn, you know, and you can start the position that you want, which is game development, game programmer. And you know, they'll probably start you off a little low. They'll lowball you a bit, but you know, that's the price to get into the industry. Is, you know, just like in the movie industry, you have to work bullshit jobs. But still, it's getting your foot in the door, right? But yeah, don't go for, if you're trying to get into the video game industry, if you're trying to like break into the video game industry, don't start as a publisher. Start as a developer. Start at a studio. Studio is the perfect place to get your foot in the door. I tell a lot of people that all the time. Work at a studio, work at a studio, work at a studio. And this is the C221. Studio is a perfect place to start. That if I could give any advice to anybody starting off in the video game industry. So yeah, if you've already got a job as a Java developer, go ahead and look for like mobile games. Mobile games real big right now. I believe, you know, it uses a lot of Java. I gotta shave this as opposed to filing it down. We don't want to make any mistakes with files when it comes to something shiny like this. Shiny! I gotta replace this blade like so bad. Buy myself some new blades this weekend, this coming weekend, when I buy my new model that I'm gonna stream. In Unity, yes. Unity is huge right now. It is the standard in the mobile industry. Yeah, in your free time, right? I know exactly what you're saying. I wish I didn't, but I know exactly what you're saying. Time. Spare time is the big thing. So now we have the GN sword, a regular long sword, and a short sword, or a dagger. Ta-da! So we've got 3 weapons. Now we have to build the GN shield, so we're building a shield now. Unity, yes. So we're gonna start off with an F-35 and a D-139. Alright guys, I'm gonna vape for a second. Just a second. Just, you know, take like a 15-second break. Yep, Sega Saturn. Wow. So you actually had a Sega Saturn. Not only that, a modded Sega Saturn. Jesus Christ. It's too bad that that system didn't succeed. Actually, you know what's the cool thing about that is I worked on the very first console version of Virtua Fighter, which was on Sega Saturn. The very first console version of Virtua Fighter. I don't know how the fuck they got that license, but hey, it's a little highlight in my resume. So F-35, the GN shield, F-35, and the D-139. I didn't even notice, but we finished the runner. Guys, look! Nothing left on this. All done. Yay. Alright, I don't know why I'm so amused by that. But I think it's just a matter of me going crazy. I'm spending so much time with this. Runner complete! Exactly. Runner complete. But yeah, Sega Saturn, Sega Saturn. I worked on that. I worked on a game called Bug. I worked on a game called Clockwork Knight. All Sega Saturn games. And like I said, I was a project lead for Power Rangers the movie for Sega Genesis. If you guys remember the old school Power Rangers from the 90s. And then they had a movie for that. And I worked on the game for it. I was a project lead for that game. QA project lead. I'm still in QA to this day. I'm one of those lifers. I make decent money. It's the only reason why I've stayed, even though I've done design before, I've done production before. I've done a little bit of programming before, because I'm a huge nerd, so I've done all those things in the video game industry, but nothing like QA for me. QA for me is life. Virtual. You know what's funny about it is I didn't even like Virtual Fighter. Still to this day, I'm not a very big Virtual Fighter fan, but I was damn good at it. Why? Because I worked on the stupid game. I had to be good at it. I didn't even play it in the arcade. I believe the first time I seriously played it was when it came out on when we tested it for Saturn. Before that, you know, I'd spend a quarter here, quarter there, just because, you know, I was bored. You know, I didn't want to play any other games, and there's nothing else. But yep, not a very big Virtual Fighter fan. Kind of like I wasn't really I was a big wrestling fan back when there was WWF. When I got to THQ, I pretty much stopped watching wrestling at that point. But when I was working on the wrestling games, well, yeah, you know, kind of got back into it. So we're doing this now. This is what's happening. This is what's happening, and this is the other thing that's happening right now. Okay, these two things are happening. This is what's happening right now. And that snaps in, or fits in perfectly. Understandable. Looking back now, I mean the new Power Rangers cartoon series now are pretty cool. I mean they're pretty. There's a lot of drama. It's still a kids cartoon though, unfortunately. I forgot what it's called in Japan. There's a name for all these shows in Japan. VF finale? I didn't even know. I didn't even know there was a finale. I mean, I know they stopped making them, but I didn't know there was a finale. 827, 828. All I know is they're making a lot of Mortal Kombats and they're making a lot of Street Fighters. Now, Street Fighter is a game that I played. My son likes to try to challenge me in Street Fighter, saying, "I can beat you this time, Dad. I can beat you." Now, mind you, he's 11, and the boy can beat me, but his win-loss percentage with me is about, I'd say 80-20. Tenkai, yeah, Tenkai. Do they still have the Putty Patrol? I don't think they have that anymore, Gameragi, in the new series. I don't think they have that anymore. Putty Patrol, I remember that. I think all the new bad guys now are like super serious type bad guys. But I remember the Putty Patrol because you fought that. So in the game, in the Power Rangers, the movie game, you had to fight the Putty Patrol. At which point you would get to a boss, and then the boss would grow, and then once it grew, you would have to fight it with your Megazord. Yeah. You spent crazy amounts of cash on Street Fighter. I spent my life on Street Fighter 2. Along with quarters. A good amount of my life. I mean, I'm not like I'm not like, you know, a pro or anything, but I can hold my own. I mean, I won't embarrass myself. If I played against somebody, I at least know what the fuck I'm doing. I'm not gonna sit there and get owned all day. I'm not gonna sit there and get perfected, but you know, depends on who you're playing against, I suppose. You know, I'm sure there's pros out there that would rip me in you asshole. Shaving, shaving, shaving. That's my life right now. That's the entirety of my life right now, is shaving. Plastic off of plastic. But yeah, nowadays, you know, I don't really get to play too much Street Fighter. Every once in a while, a Street Fighter competition will break out, like at work or something. At which point, you know, I'll join in, I'll play. And of course, I won't talk shit, you know, I'll just sit there. Everybody will be like, oh yeah, Ray's gonna play, you know, and everybody will be like, you know, Ray sucks, or Ray's gotta be really good, or no, Ray sucks. My name is, you know, Ray, of course. And then, you know, I put my earphones on, I'd play. Sometimes I win, and sometimes I lose. I bet, Starcab. I bet. I wonder why Sagat was really popular in Thailand. I don't know. Maybe it's the I don't know. Maybe it's the bald head. Possibly. No. Maybe not. Maybe not because he's bald headed. It was the eye patch. It's got to be the eye patch. No, that wouldn't be it. I don't know, man. Maybe the shorts. I think the shorts might have said something on them, right? The shorts had to have said something, like, you know, I love Thailand or something like that. The scar. It's gotta be. Yeah. There you go. You got me. It's gotta be the scar that made him popular in Thailand. There's no other. That's it. That's the only reason, right? You know, I don't know if you know this. You probably already do. Most people know this little Street Fighter tidbit fact. But M. Bison, Sagat, and oh my god, now I can't remember his name. M. Bison, Sagat, and in the American version, who's the boxer again? Jesus Christ, I played this game and I can't remember his name. M. Bison, Sagat, and I can't fucking remember. You guys will remember. Remember for me, guys. Remember for me. I will use your memory because I have the memory of a dead rock. Memory of a dead rock. Alright, so this should fit right here. Please God, please God, please God, please God. Oh, and I forgot a piece. M. Bison, Sagat, and the boxer, Balrog. There you go. Jesus Christ, Balrog. In the American version of the game, those were their names. M. Bison was the red guy that, you know, looked like a soldier. Sagat was the kickboxer, and then oh my god, I just said it. Balrog was the boxer. In reality, the boxer was M. Bison, but they couldn't use M. Bison because, you know, it was too close to Mike Tyson, which is what he was based on anyway. M. Bison was Balrog, and wait, then Sagat was Sagat, yeah. I don't know, man. It's been a while. Like I said, memory of a dead rock. Dead rock, gentlemen. Dead rock. And we're gonna have to buff that out. We are going to have to buff that out. Uh, buff, 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 buff. Buff, 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 buff. R.I.P. Deadrock. That's what it's gonna say on my tombstone. R.I.P. Here lies Ray Swansing. R.I.P. Deadrock. He will be known for his lack of memory. And of course that he was a father, a good father, a good husband, a good brother, and a good son. But mostly because he had the memory of a Deadrock. Alright, so now look at that bad boy. Alright, so now we need it's actually not even finished yet. We need an F-16. We need the F-16, not the Vega. Vega. That's right. StarCab. Oh my god, you're right. Vega. It was, and Bison was Vega. Balrog was Mike Tyson, or Balrog was M. Bison, and Vega was Balrog. Jesus. Memory. I wish I had some. F-16. I wish I still had it. It's all the coffee and cigarettes that I had in my young life. That was the F-16, yes. Coffee and cigarettes. Disturbed Siren, thank you very much for being a new follower. I am glad that I can entertain you, and I hope I can entertain you more with more Gundam building and more of my horrible memory. But yeah, feel free to ask me questions or join us in chat at any given time. If you want to be a lurker, though, that's all fine and good. Like I said, I'm just glad that I am entertaining to you. You know, one of these days I'm gonna do a dual camera stream where I'm gonna have my hands, and also my face, which you guys can't see right now, and I'm not gonna show you anytime soon. Why? Because I'm not prettied the fuck up right now. Not that I need to be honest. I'm a very handsome man, trust me. No, really, I am. Trust me. You don't trust me, do you? Ant. Don't tell me that you don't trust me, guys. Tell me that you love me. Tell me that I'm awesome. Tell me I'm handsome. I need that. Yeah, the Japanese SNES Famicom card as well. Importing was a big yes. I know. I remember those, StarCab. I definitely remember those days. I did a lot of the same things. I actually had a modded Xbox back in the day, and that is, ladies and gentlemen, that is the GN Shield. The GN Shield. And the next part is actually hands, but we're not gonna go do hands. We've already got hands, right? So we're not gonna do hands. What we're gonna do right now is, well, we might need to do hands to put stuff on him. Do I need to do the hands? Gosh darn it. Alright, we'll do hands. Because we have the closed fist hands right now. Right? So since we have the closed fist hands, we want to have the hands that can actually hold shit. I was kind of trying to avoid that. Yep. Holy fuck. What do they want me to do? It's a B5. This is an F. Yeah, B5. I don't know what. Oh, I have a feeling these hands are gonna be the death of me. I don't even know what they're trying to ask me to do. Alright, fuck it. B5 it is. Let's do this. Let's go do some hands. We're gonna do some hands, ladies and gentlemen. Let's B5. What? I don't even know what they're trying to get me to do here. Okay, so what the fuck? I am absolutely lost with this piece. So this is a hand. Oh shit, it's got a joint. You see that, guys? You see how tiny this joint is? It's actually a ball joint. What the living fuck? And this bends. Oh my, what the? How did they get magnets? How do they work? Holy fuck, magnets. Holy shit, this moves too. I am that amused, guys. I am seriously that amused. You might think, StarCab, you lived close to Japan, why didn't you have a Japanese game system? Because Thailand is part of Southeast Asia. I know, Gameragi! And get a Jap, yeah, it was, hey, it was, I'm actually Filipino, I'm from the Philippines, and I know what you mean by expensive. But yes, Gameragi, it's, joints have now been confirmed, and apparently they do stuff, like, oh, I have to, don't tell me I have to cut those out. What the fuck? Yeah, I do. I know exactly what this is supposed to look like now. This is the most convoluted thing I'd seen in this whole model, but now that I see it, now that I see all the joints, I know how it works. Them joints though, them joints. Oh really? You figured it out, huh? How'd you figure it out? It's not from the brown hands, is it? This is some crazy shit here. Up to God, I'm supposed to cut these off. Because if I'm cutting this off right here and I'm not supposed to, I will literally shit a brick. Well, it worked. Yeah. You can't say it didn't work. That is so crazy. So that's what? So that's supposed to work like that, and this is a ball joint. Okay, so this is the right hand, and look at that. Look at that. It makes a hand. Look. So that's the thumb. That's the thumb right there. See that little piece? That's the thumb. That's the index finger right there. Index finger. And then there's the 3 other fingers right there, and it closes up into a fist. That is crazy sauce. That's crazy sauce. Now we need an E1. After we get this done, I don't think I'm going to make any more fists. I think we'll just put on all the weapons. And then we will celebrate. We will all get drunk. I will come to both your houses with beers, and we will get drunk. That's what we're going to do. Don't say no. You guys can't say no. PI or Pacific. Yeah. It is for my skin. You figured it out for my skin? Ah. Wait. We need an E1. Yeah, true. Out of all the Asians, we tend to be darker. Out of all the Asian persuasions. So we just need an E1. Soju, if you please. Oh, I love soju. I work for a Korean company. You kind of have to love soju. I think it's one of the requirements. I believe in my interview for Nexon M, they asked me, so do you like soju? And I said, yes, I do. And that's probably the reason why they hired me. That's actually, I'm pretty goddamn sure that's why they hired me. Oh, look that! Now we've got an armor piece for the hand. Crazy! Things are getting crazy, son. All right, let's go build the other one. Then after that, we'll put swords in. We'll put some swords in this bitch. Maybe like a gun or something. Holy shit! Fuck me. All right, there you go. One hand to rule them all. See? I don't know why I am so amused by this, but I am. It's amazing. It's amazeballs. But yes. Yes. Soju, sake. Then, you know, Filipinos have their own, like, weird shit that we like to drink from the Philippines. Mostly it's San Miguel, though. San Miguel beer. San Miguel beer, which is actually starting to get popular here in the States. And I heard, actually, you know what, I heard it's getting pretty big in Southeast Asia also. One of the reasons why I know that is because I was watching BuzzFeed, a BuzzFeed video a couple days ago, and they were talking about beers from around the world, and they had like a blind taste test of like different beers, and then they said San Miguel was from Thailand. And I was like, really? I'm pretty sure it's from the Philippines, but oh well, you know. Thais and Filipinos are, you know, pretty close. Do you like kimchi? Yes, you are hired. I actually, the funny thing is, I hate kimchi. I hate it. It's not even the fact that it's fermented, because I've, you know, being Filipino, I've eaten some fermented shit before. It's, let's see, this is the left hand. It is it's just the smell of it. It just smells not nice. San Miguel is a Spanish beer. Hold on. Yes it is. Yes it is. But you know, it's the #1 beer of the Philippines. That and Red Horse. Red Horse will fuck you up. That's like the Guinness of the Philippines. I don't even know what color the thing is. It comes in a brown bottle. It's got a red label. All I know is you drink that shit, it'll fuck you up. San Miguel, not so much. It's pretty watered down. It's one of those, you know, I like the taste kind of beers. But, you know. But Red Horse, you want to get fucked up, you drink some Red Horse. That's how it is in the Philippines. You know what's sad, though, is I haven't been back to the Philippines since I was 16 years old. And I was actually born there, and I spent the first 9 years of my life there. So this is the back plate to the other hand. The other hand. So let's go to our friend here. Let's go to our friend. Let's go take off some hands. I should put them in somewhere. I should put them in a place. This is actually where I've been keeping this Gundam, this little container. I need to buy more of these if I'm going to build more Gundams. But let's go snap off the hands, the original hands, which are like closed fists, one solid piece. And let's put on the new, I like to hold shit hands. Do not sauerkraut as well. Sauerkraut? No, actually I don't. I do not like sauerkraut. I don't know what the appeal is to sauerkraut. It's cabbage, right? It's made of cabbage? I'm not a big fan of cabbage in the first place. I'm not a cabbage kind of guy. So, alright, so let's go do some crazy shit, right? Alright, so we got two hands. Let's just say we've got those two crazy hands. The one that I've been like super amused by. So we got those two crazy hands, right? So let's go put some shit in those hands. Alright, so let's go make a beam saber. Yeah? Yeah, for a Filipino, I'm very picky about food. So let's go build a beam saber. F11, F10. What? What are you talking about, F11, F10? Is there something I'm missing here? Ew, it wants me to do shit. Ew. Nah, fuck it. Fuck it. This is what we're gonna do. Lumpia, I love the balut. I can actually eat balut still to this day. Alright, so this is the front piece. If this is the front piece, alright, if this is the front piece, this goes above. Okay, so guys, we're gonna go put some swords on this bad boy. I'm doing a lot of cussing because I'm excited. I'm gonna put some swords on this bad boy. Try not to cuss so much, but you know, I'm getting excited. Getting excited. Getting pretty excited there, buddy. No. No, be my friend. Be my friend. Let me put you on. Oh, damn. So let me show you how this looks now. So that's the front. Right? That's a front. Maybe I shouldn't like have them that angle because it covers. Oh fudge. No. What have I done? Consequences will never be the same. Alright, so let me snap that back on. So we want it to be a little bit more to the back. Yeah. Okay, so that works. That works for me. Alright, so that, and let's put this a little bit more that way also. Alright, so there you go. So, alright, so now we have swords. Right? We have two blades. This is the front. The short blade and the saber, the long sword. Balut, ew. Home stretch, accessory Ganza. No, I wish it was done after this, but it will not be. There's other things that we need to do, my friend. Other things that need to be done. Let's see here. Okay. And then it turns into a gun. So that means that this has to be held a certain way. Okay. So let's go put this on the hand. I know. Let's go put this on the hand. I know I'm supposed to use another hand, but I don't care. Bandai, I can do what I want. I do what I want. Butt stabbing. Yes, stab all the butts. All the butts. Must stab all butts. Okay, so that goes here. And if that goes there, that means this snaps onto what? What does this snap onto? Oh, there's a part in the arm it snaps onto. Oh, I gotcha. I see what you're doing there. I see what you want me to do. Trust me, guys. This will look good. This will. It doesn't right now, but it will. I promise. I promise. It'll look good. It will look good once I get it in there. That is what he said to her, because it's not what she said, because she's not putting anything inside of anything unless they have that kind of a relationship. All right. So we have that. And if I can just maybe finagle this into this area here. Yes, that's what you do. That is what you do because we're friends. That is exactly what you do because we're friends. So look at this, right? So let's just say you have this guy, right? And he's fighting something, right? Right? Yeah. So he's got this shield thing, shield sword thing in his hand, right? And the cool thing is, this shield sword thing folds over, and that is a pistol. That right there is a pistol, if I can get the hand to stay. That is a pistol. You see that? And this is a shield. You see that? And then now let's go put on the other shield. And then the other shield goes in place here. Oh, cripes. Here, yes. Yes. And then the other shield is here. So let's pose him out. Let's pose him out and let's go cross our arm. Oh, shucks. Stop coming off. That's what she said. Oh, Jesus. Oh, dear. Oh, God. Tarantula and yeah, you know what? I haven't eaten tarantula, but I've eaten some bugs, some rice beetles. Yeah, I've eaten those. Stop coming off. For the love of Pete. I want to show these guys something with you. So look at that, guys. Two shields, one smaller shield, one big shield. Inside the smaller shield is a gun that transforms into a sword. Into a sword. How cool is that? Transforms into a sword. It does stuff. Sword stuff. It does things like that. There are things that it does. Uh, but yes. Okay. Okay, that's enough of that. That is not so sweet. Yeah, I've eaten some crazy things. But now, I'm in the States. I'm pretty Americanized, so there's very few things that I actually will still keep eating. It's unfortunate in a lot of ways. I'm very picky about my food now. In that, in relation to what I used to eat, you know, like everything I eat has to come from a supermarket. I was actually just having a conversation about this with one of my friends about how picky I am now compared to how I was when I was younger, of course, and new here to the States, where I came from. I came from a small province in the Philippines, actually. It was a small farming community, farming province. So I ate a lot of stuff that, you eat at a farm. And like everything that we ate, all the meat that we ate was, stuff that was grown there that I considered pets sometimes. All right, so we have that. So we have that in place. And if, you know what, F that. All right, so we got that. All right, so now we're gonna try to figure out what we're gonna do next. Do we want to do, oh, my music stopped. Do we want to do, do we want to do, do we want to do decals or do we want to do panel lining? Actually, it's coming around to 11 o'clock. It is coming down to 11 o'clock. Everything is pretty built out though. So what we'll do is this. Yeah, you know what? Gameragi? Perfect. That is actually the best description of that. It's a gun blade. That's essentially what it is. It's a blade, right? And you hold it like a shield, and then it opens, and then it turns that into a gun. And then that becomes pretty sweet there, yeah? That becomes pretty awesome. Pretty awesome, right? So it's a gun blade. It is essentially, and if you look at it from this angle, it is essentially a gun blade. And then it becomes a blade, which is pretty awesome. And it's shiny. Can't say enough about it being shiny. And did I live in Luzon? No. Oh, I mean, yes, I lived in Luzon. I lived in Luzon. I lived in a small county called Cavite, and in Cavite, I lived in a small town called Dasmariñas. And in Dasmariñas, I lived on a small street called San Agustin. So yeah, I remember all of that, considering I have lived there. I haven't lived there since I was 9, and I'm like 38 now. 38. You guys didn't hear that. I'm 38. But yeah, all right. So guys, this is what we have. So we have that. Let me clean up a little bit here. We have we have our Gundam. We have some hands on our Gundam. Some pretty cool hands that I found to be extremely amusing. We got his gunblade. We got his shield. We got two. We got his long sword and his short sword. Right? And it's pretty awesome. It looks really, really good. 42? You're 42? No, you can't be older than me. Hello, Ethan is the best ever. Yeah, I got that right the first time. Ethan is the best ever. How are you, bud? Thank you for joining my chat. Thank you for joining the channel and saying hello to everybody. Hello to you, my friend. So right now, this is what we did. So just to catch you up, Ethan. So I started this on Friday. Started off with the right leg, which took me 3 hours because I haven't built a Gundam in like so long. I'm gonna vape and take a drink while I do this, if you guys don't mind. I can't talk. I'm not a ventriloquist. I can't talk and drink at the same time. So even I started building this. I built the right leg in 3 hours because it's been a long, long time since I built a Gundam, and I'm gonna continue building Gundams on this stream from now on. And then the next day, I built the other leg, and then after that, I built the torso. After that, I built the two arms, and then the head came last night. And then tonight, what we did was we built his weapons and his shield. So long sword, short sword, gunblade. Let's just call it a gunblade because that's what it is. Shield. There's other things like beam sabers that we're gonna be building out. I might just build these like on my own off stream because all they are is really a handle and then the blade. And then from here, so it seems like we're done, but we're not. What we're gonna do after this is tomorrow. I'm gonna try to make a decision on what I want to do because right now, so I definitely have a set of decals. Right, I definitely have a set of decals, all shiny, all nice. And I definitely have a set of holographic parts, which, holographic parts are supposed to go somewhere. They will have to go somewhere. Like on the front thigh right there, front thigh right there. Um, and also on the arms, they're supposed to go on arms also. But we're gonna decide whether or not we want to do the decals. There's a couple of decals I'll probably do for the GN particle condensers, like the gems. So I might take the gems off and do those. And then after that is panel lining, where we get to use our brand new handy dandy Gundam pens. Yeah, Gundam pens. And then, I'll show you guys how panel lining works, which will be. Oh, why is my music not playing anymore? Which will be pretty cool because panel lining, if you guys didn't know already what panel lining is, if you notice on this instruction booklet, if I can get it out of if you notice there's these black lines on the headpiece, the Gundam actually doesn't have that, so it doesn't have that in the actual helmet. It just has those lines, or little divots for that, divots or lines. And then from there we take one of these Gundam pens, and we actually line it up. And the reason why you do that is because it just makes all the pieces pop out a little bit more. And also you can use that for weathering and make it look like it's been in battle and it's old and used and whatnot. But I will decide that tomorrow on whether or not we're going to be doing decals or a mass amount of decals because there are a shit ton of decals. There's a ton of them. or if we're just gonna do panel lining. And I'll get the beam sabers and all that, and then we'll do posing and whatnot. But what we'll do also, what the heck, Bobby? What the hell? So we'll do once we get the panel lining done and all that, then we'll go ahead and do some poses. I'll probably take some pictures. I'll probably put it in something, right? The pictures. I'll probably put it somewhere, and then after that, then we will start on a new model this weekend. The plan for now for me is to build a bunch of real grades and then move on to master grade once I'm done with the collection of real grades that I want to build. But yes, this stream will be a Gundam stream, or at least a model building stream on creative, because I love it. I love it more than I thought I would, and I love the people here. You guys are awesome. But yes, Ethan is the best ever. Well, it's the best ever, but still, I think you're the best ever. I really do appreciate you saying hi to everybody here. And I don't know what we're going to do now, to be honest, because it's 11 o'clock and this is usually around the time that I take off. But I'm not exactly tired, but I don't really want to work on anything else. So if you guys want to chat it up a little bit while I put stuff away, then have at it. Ask me questions, guys. Let's have a conversation. I'll actually cut out some pieces here. I'll cut out some pieces, like the beam saber pieces. I'll cut those out, just so I can put them in my little box. That's what she said. So let's do some cutting. Beam saber cutting. So close. So close. Actually, let me refresh. Are you excited for E3? I look like I'm doing stuff. Yeah, I'm doing stuff. Let me refresh real quick, guys, because I think there might have been a problem with my dashboard. Am I excited for E3? That's the question. Now, I will give you the answer. I have been to a lot of E3s. A lot. I have been in the video game industry for a long time, so I've been to quite a few E3s. So usually what happens is, or at least this is what's been happening over the past few years, is that you create an account, an E3 account, you give them your credentials, such as, where you work and some paperwork like your paycheck, or your pay stub, or other distinguishing factors that make you part of the industry. And then from there, from there they'll give you your badge, and then you're good to go, right? And that account that you create with them is usually good pretty much forever, right? Every year, all you have to do is provide the fact that you do provide information on which company you work for, if you still work for a company, and then like a paycheck or something, a paycheck stub, and then you'll get back in. And then they'll just give you your badge, and then boom, you're back in. This year, now mind you, I've had this account for years and years and years now. This year, I tried to do my usual little, usual little verification, and it told me my account didn't exist. And I contacted somebody from E3 with their customer service for people like me, and they said they don't know what happened to my account and they can't restore it. So I figured, you know what, F it, I'm not gonna go, not this year. There's been I haven't been in like a couple years anyway, right? And it's not what it used to be. Oh, you're getting buffering now? No, no, Charles, get out of my head, Charles. No. Gameragi, how's it on your end? Is it still cool on your end? Hopefully it's still cool. But yeah, StarCat, let me know if it gets better or if it gets worse, then I'll do something about it. But yeah, so okay, good. No, I don't have to pay at all. You don't have to pay with that pass at all. It's, you know, if you're part of the industry, then you get in for free. I actually don't know if anybody actually if anybody actually pays, to be honest. I've never heard of anybody actually paying. So as long as you're part of the video game industry, you're good to go. Oh, there is one little bit that I should cut out, that I should finish off with for the night, but I will finish that after I've done cutting everything out. There's a bunch of little extra bits. A1, A2. Alright. So yeah, because of that little fact of what happened, I decided, nah, not this year. It's too much effort to start a new account with the E3 people and have to verify. Because if you're starting out fresh, then you have to provide them like with three things, as opposed to, like, you know, just one thing, like one proof of the fact that you worked for the video game industry. And I really didn't feel like having to scratch that up. I know it sounds lazy, but oh, okay. That might be the case, Gameragi. And you know, that's probably why I haven't heard of anybody paying, is because I've pretty much always gotten in for free. Now, I'm not trying to sound smug. I'm not trying to sound like, you know, all that, but no, it's just been the case ever since E3 started. I've always gotten in. I've always had a badge. There seems to be a little bitty piece that I forgot. I'm gonna put on right now. Oh, Jesus. I'm gonna need tweezers for this. I'll have them looking up at everybody. Well, kickstart a game and then bam, you're in E3. No, I mean, I can still get in, but I just didn't want to go through all the work of having to provide them with all my stuff. Like, what they'll need is, so they'll need 3 forms of ID that prove that you're in the video game industry. One of them is usually a pay stub. Another one is like a note from HR, and another one could be like anything else that says you're like a business card or something like that. So I haven't done that in like so many years, because I've been getting in like every year pretty much. I've only had to provide like one piece of information, and this year, if I have to start over, then I'll have to provide all of that information over again. And like I said, it's not a matter that of whether or not I can. It's just a matter of it's the principle of it. It's the principle. You know, it's the principle of the whole thing. If they're gonna lose my account, then fuck it. Not this year. Then I might go next year. And plus, I'm a project lead. I'm essentially the interim QA manager for my group, for my QA department. Well, considering that I built it, I should be, at least. And that being the case, I do work a lot, and I will most likely have to work during that time anyway. I was only planning really to go like one day. Alright guys, you probably won't be able to see this on cam because my camera sucks, but I'm filing something down. This is a little Setsuna FC. See, look, it's a tiny one, smaller than my thumb. And this little guy pretty much stands in front of this big guy. He's the relative size of a Setsuna FCA from the series Gundam 00. There you go. Got a little model bit, little pilot. That's what I have to say. And I've pretty much, I emptied out all the runners. So all the runners are empty now. I cut out all the bits and I put them here, and all these bits are just extra fists, some beam saber blades, some extra bits just in case you break something. And just double checking my runners to see if there's anything that I've missed. I don't want to have to throw these away and then find out later on that, oh crap, I need something. Yeah, sure enough, I missed a hand back plate, which I just shot into the back of my monitor. Yeah, I am not a smart man. I'll get that tomorrow. Just double checking all my runners. And then, like I said, tomorrow, decals. Possibly, you know, possibly a little bit of a decals, and possibly a little bit of a panel lining. But for now, let's go put all this away in my handy dandy container, Gundam container, and then we'll close out for the night. I'm super happy about the way this turned out. And guys, I'm gonna finalize my schedule. Pretty much the way I'm gonna do this is I'm most likely gonna be doing this Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, because I do have to spend time with my wife and my kids. So I'll probably be doing this Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and Saturday, Sunday, Saturday night, Sunday night, or maybe just Saturday night, or maybe Sunday night. On the weekends, it'll be kind of random depending on whether or not I have the time. But it'll definitely be Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and I'll try to start at 8 o'clock, at the very, very least 9 o'clock. But I'll be on no matter what on Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and I am gonna be doing Gundam builds the whole time. I love this. This is so cool to me that, you know, I've gotten back into this way. But either way, ladies and gentlemen, I'm gonna be taking off for the night. I really, 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 really appreciate you guys being around and chatting with me while I do this. All the people that followed me tonight and all the people that watched me tonight, I appreciate that also. Everybody here has been very awesome, and you guys have made this a very, very good time for me. And I will see everybody tomorrow. This is the first week that we're just gonna go ham on this schedule. But next week, you know, once we start with the next model, then we'll have a schedule down. But other than that, guys, thank you very much for joining me. I will see you guys tomorrow. I really do appreciate it, and you guys have a good night.